Hey y'all, you already know what the business is. This is gonna be episode 2 of the series. I think I called it Spliffin, but we're gonna be getting into the 2 different types of gratification. We'll jump right into it. There's instant gratification and you got your delayed gratification. We're gonna go into instant gratification first. And people who choose instant gratification, now it's good to choose instant gratification sometimes, but not all the time. Or when you look at people who choose the instant gratification route, it's people who are really involved in the short-term pleasures, you understand? And it's not bad to love your short-term pleasures. Sometimes you need to let loose a little, sometimes you need that satisfaction in your life, because honestly, no one is hard body 100% of the time. They just not. You sometimes it's good to relax or dove into your pleasures, but not all the time. So, but instant gratification, it really comes down to really not planning all the time and many other aspects. But we'll put an example like this. Your boss gives you a paycheck. Now, you can either use your paycheck to buy something that will probably fulfill you for maybe a week or two, say a video game, say a gaming system even, since we're talking about a paycheck, a new TV, even though you already have a TV, some clothes that you're probably not going to wear within months' time, or things like that. Things that you think you need now, or things that you think you want now, but you really can hold that off for later. And I like to use money as a perfect example of this, because really, people who know how to delay the gratification with money, 9 times out of 10 are going to be the people that get farther ahead with it in the long run. But when you hop too much into your impulses or hop in too much of your pleasures, it can actually set you back. You understand? Imagine every time, in fact, a lot of people do this. A lot of people can't go the whole day without eating 5 times. You understand? It's funny how animals can delay their meals for weeks at a time, or days at a time, but humans, we gotta eat like 5 times a day, and we really don't even need to eat 5 times a day, because you've probably had days already where you've only had 1 meal, 2 meals, most. You understand? And some people, like me, I can eat 5 meals and bro, I'm gonna stay the same weight. But some people, they start adding on weight and they wonder why. It's because at the end of the day, you're going to your instant pleasure. You're going to your instant gratification. You're going into, I need to eat now. I need to taste a certain flavor now. When in all actuality, you could hold off for a little bit. So there's a difference between eating when you're hungry and eating for the sake of eating. And that's just with food, you understand? There's many other ways you can go about it, and I go back to the topic of money. When you think and you live by the check-to-check life, you really don't think about saving too much. And even, I'm nowhere near the best saver. Nowhere near the best with money. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do know when it's time to buckle down, and when I know shit's gonna hit the fan, I know I'm gonna be set. You understand? Or hope at least I'm set, unless other factors come into play. But you could wonder how some people, they could do so much with little means, while other people have more means than them, but end up in a worse position. It's because they're not always acting on their impulses. They're not always needing to always have the pleasures all the time, if you get what I'm saying. When you're pleasured all the time, you become comfortable all the time. You don't really think about planning. I'll put this down. And it's important to plan in life. You understand? The future, not guaranteed, and the past is the past. The only physical moment or the only physical time frame you can really live in is the now. Even the few seconds that passed as I was talking, those are gone. I can't go back to those seconds. Time machines don't exist, or at least I don't think. but that might be another video. So when you in the now, the only thing you could really plan for is your future that's unexpected. And yeah, your future is unexpected, but there's a way. It's funny how you can actually plan certain events ahead, and you may not get the exact outcome, but you might have a way more favorable outcome if you plan and you set yourself ahead. You understand? Sometimes you don't need to go to that party. You don't need to go to that flex or whatever, that Friday or Saturday, just so you can feel good for the few days that lead after. Some people would rather put in the work and then put that money aside and not even think about it. Then that's where the delayed gratification comes in. That's the pleasure after the fact, the pleasure you forgot about, and when it hits you, like, oh shit, this shit feels real good. You understand? You know that satisfaction? Perfect example. You know that satisfaction when you made a really good meal that satisfied you, that you know you could probably eat the whole plate that you prepared for yourself, but instead you save a little bit so you can have lunch for the next day. And then when you eat that lunch the next day, it's sometimes even better than when you first had it. You ever think about that? That's just delayed gratification, and that's only in the day's time frame. You even hold down the food for 2 days, still you're delaying that pleasure instead of eating it all the time. And the thing with delayed gratification is so subtle. You understand? It's like planting seeds in a sense, because you feel me? You could either go buy a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables from the grocery store, but you're not gonna have the same value on that as if you planted the seeds yourself and grew those same fruits and vegetables. As corny as it sounds, it's true. It's not the same when you hustling for hours of a week to get that certain amount of money that you need and doing some backdoor shit that you could probably get the money instantly. It's not the same. Someone who jugs their way to $2,000 will never understand the hustle of working weeks at a time to get that $2,000. And even people who work those weeks at a time to get that $2,000 and still blow it on some instant gratifications. See, this delayed gratification, in a sense, or your delayed pleasures, is something when you don't act on your impulses and you just know that the moment is going to be way better when you plan or when you wait for it. This can go for anything. This can go from food. This can go from watching TV, playing video games. This can go for sex. This can go for any type of pleasures that you think you want, even your possessions that I talked about in the last video. Instant gratification won't lead to your fulfillment. You could have everything, but you will never be fulfilled. That's why I like to tell people, or at least remind myself, that it's not always about what I have in the moment. It's about what I can do in the moment, so what I can see I'll have later, if that makes sense. Or what I'll have is something that I planted way earlier. And the thing is, the results become way more massive when you do that. You understand? You can't go to the gym for a week and think you're gonna come out jacked or like a bodybuilder. This is just impossible. Even on steroids, it's gonna take some time. However, the people that you see jacked in the gym, or the people that you see with the builds that they want, is because they put in that time months, sometimes years in advance. People don't want to put in the work. People want things now. And life, especially nowadays with the things that we have and the resources that we have, everything's about the now. You understand? Nowadays, if I want any food in the area, I could literally go on my phone, go on Postmates or Uber Eats, and have the food delivered to me at my door in less than an hour. I could communicate to almost anybody in the world if I have the correct contact information. when you're on social media and you're getting all those likes, and I don't want to be the anti-social media nigga, I'm just saying, social media is all about what's now, what's popping. It's all about the instant gratification. It's all about the instant pleasures. That's why they have so many different things going on your timeline at once. You don't want, and that shit is, that's a whole other story, a whole other video, but they do that so you could constantly be looking at your phone, because what happens is you start picking up your phone without even noticing it, because you just want the instant pleasure of just looking at what the fuck's happening. When in all actuality, you don't even need that. Because now you start cutting into your time. When you start cutting into your time, you start cutting into the times you could put in the seed so you can have that delayed gratification. Always live for today, but always live for tomorrow as well. You understand? Live in the now, but understand that 9 times out of 10, you will have it later, unless your time comes. But I think that's all for this video. Nothing too much. I'm trying to get better at these videos. Like and comment, and thank you everybody who supported me on the last video. Also, you feel me? That makes me want to keep doing these. I don't care if I'm only getting a few views. If 50 people watch it, that's 50 people that could take some information and use it to help their lives. So I want a big salute to the people that continue watching my videos and the people that are here since the very early episodes. Y'all have a good night, a good day whenever y'all watching this, but I'm out.